So now we want to talk about file number 6, which is I think blank, nothing there. Please open it up. Nothing there. So what to do with this, right? What to do with this? Okay, we are going to use Power Query to extract all the cost center files, send it across to Power Pivot, and of course summarize in OLAP pivot table. Slightly different, guys, from just now. Slightly different method. Just now, if you remember, we came over here, right? We select Excel workbook. Okay, but this upcoming exercise, we are going to select folder now. That folder we're going to select is this folder containing all the cost centers. You don't really care whether you have 1,000 cost centers. It's going to be mopped out by Power Query. Power Query is in our line of work, it's actually a force multiplier, allowing us to punch through big hurdles when it comes to our work. Alright, the setup is very simple. Standardize all the workbooks, put in a folder looking like this. Alright, ready? Let's go. Data. Get data from folder, please. Click. Okay, what else to select? I'm going to be selecting this folder. Please don't double click. Don't go inside the folder, please. You're not selecting the things inside the folder. You're selecting the folder. Just leave it like this and click open. Okay, and you get a bunch of things talking about the information of files. Here, nothing to do here. Alright, it's just info about the files. Alright, but here, yes. Okay, we are not going to cancel this. We are not going to press this one, nothing. Now we want to talk about this word here, combine. Right, it's in context. It's in context of this word where combining the two methods, right? Okay, however, this combine only means appending. It doesn't mean merging. Okay, so merging, technically, you can only merge two sources at one go in Power Query. Over here we have so many, right? Okay, and also over here, it doesn't make sense for us to merge. Even in Power Query, we merge lah. Imagine such a big file spreading across like that, right? It won't work actually, right? We are going to do it this way. We're going to keep our columns non-repetitive all the way down. Okay, all right. So small tiny arrow, right? Click on it. You might see a few things lah. Over here, we want to bring up that small tiny window lah, so as to give us a lot of options. So combine and load to place. So click and waiting. One more before we go. All right, one more. First file, nothing to do here, no change. All right, the first file is also the administration file. This option here allows us to select the template that we want to base on, right? If we have different styles and templates across. All right, so don't bother, because don't do that. Keep everything standardized, because your file outcome will look very awful if you have non-standardized items. Okay, it's gonna be messy. Under here, click on sheet 1. Now, if all the files over here, right, have individual worksheet names, they are all going to pop out right here. And what will happen? We won't be doing we won't be having a good set of results actually. Because why? We are given the option only selecting one item. No, if you have so many items to select, so it's going to be very messy and very difficult for that matter. So this part here, Power Query doesn't handle different worksheet names very well. Okay. Now looking at the previewer, there are quite a lot of things to edit for that matter. For now, let's click the OK button. And now only the small tiny window that we have seen many times pop up. Alright. Select only create connection. Okay. Add this to the data model and then click OK. Okay. Alright. Things are in the data model already no need to check it's already there. There's only one. Okay. But we want to do a cleanup now. The location to clean up, the tool to use is actually Power Query, because Power Query is built for that. We can't carry out here one. So I like you to right now just double click on the last item less messy item to get into Power Query. And the bunch of files here are quite different from what you've seen earlier, because this is a different method of extracting. Okay, now if you are not here, click here, because this is the results of our file combination. Okay, you can see like the row, right? All the cost centers. So we're going to clean up. This is normally going to happen when we don't have proper titles in our Excel workbooks. It's quite normal anyway. Alright, because Power Query sees things in terms of tables, right? So there's no title in this cell in that original worksheet. Alright. Okay, cleanup time. Cleanup time is not here. It is here in the sample file. Can you go over here right now? Alright. Now, you may think that there are quite a lot of steps involved. Yes. Over here, right? I have actually put in notes relating to what we do right now. The notes are in point form. Make sure you're here right now. Okay. What file is this, right? This particular table here just contains the admin cost center. No other things. You remember just now there was a step asking us to select sample file, right? We leave it as first file, right? The first file is the admin cost center lah. This is the one lah. Whatever we do here, any changes we do here will flow over here one to correct things. So we have to be very careful. Alright. So firstly, it's like this. We have some unneeded columns one actually. What unneeded columns, right? You see all this now thing, right? See that? This is actually not needed, right? Over here on the side, this total column thing not needed. This percentage change thing, the last column of the workings, right? Also not needed actually. Alright, see that? And we don't really need the totals from 2026 because we're going to do our own as a check. So right, so quite a number of things to delete, right? Very easy one actually. Alright, what you need to do is like this, we're going to delete this. Range like this, that's all. Press the delete button like what we did earlier. Okay, so it's gone. Next, go all the way to the last. This one, you can press your shift button also. You can press your control button. Just make sure the last 3 columns are gone. Press delete. Okay. As you do more actions, right, deletion or any correction things, you might notice the steps here increase. Don't worry, don't bother anything. Don't do anything to this. Alright. And right now, we are to identify what is legible. This actually looks quite good. The one on top is actually all the yellow cells that we put in for the indirect function. Right? So we would like to get rid of all these things. Okay, and moving down, right, we also like to get rid of all the footnotes. So if you look at your own space, you're going to keep starting from row 14, right, all the way from to 48. The 2 buttons to explore is right here. You have a choice, no, to remove top rows, bottom rows, and that will do the job. And also you have the option to indicate what rows you want to keep, and then the rest gets deleted. Let's try the very obscure option under here. So this button, click. Let's use this. Let's keep a range of rows so that the rest gets deleted. Click. Are you here or not? I'm doing step by step. First row, row 14. The next row will be how many? Oh yes. If I recall just now, it was row 48. If I take row 48 minus 14 plus 1, what do I get? Taking my calculator. 48 minus 14 plus 1. So I get 35 rows. Okay, so these are the number of rows starting from 14 lah. Clicking OK. Alright, doing a test check right now. I'm going to flip over to the previous step right here. I'm going to take a look at the last row. The line item for this is 6110. Okay, coming back. There's no loss of data. Okay. Alright, so once done, promote the first row as headers. Go to home. Use first row as headers. I will further delete this. No need for this column. Press delete, please. I'm going to run through the rest. Okay, when you run through, the columns you must have is this, and then starting from January, no other things, no. All the way from to December. There are no total subtotals here, already deleted. So make sure of that. Okay. Okay, so far. Okay, Nothing to clean up already. Let's come over here right now to see our results. Exclamation mark is not very good. Error has happened. Right? Error has happened because when we do the cleanup over here, we impacted some of the steps over here. So some of the steps over here are not usually to be touched unless necessary. To fix this, we're going to go backwards, right? So I'd like you to right now click on the second last step and inspect the situation over here. Second last step is not too bad. I'd like you right now to delete the last step. We are very cautious in this because anything that we delete is gone forever. So go to the last step and just bunker this thing out, and we are left right now with the second step, and we are inspecting what we have on the second last step over here. Kind of the same actually, with no columns added and all. Alright, from the original settings that we have done over here. Right, okay. And if you actually flip this source, right, you can actually see all the cost centers in already. Okay, I like to split this column, guys. You notice the cost center code and the description is kind of like sharing the same space. So I like to split the column having just the cost center code and the other column having just the description of cost center. So range this particular column, and right now just be mindful you're here. You're here because you have finished the setup already. You have finished the cleanup already. So this is not a cleanup now. This is a further manipulation of what you have, alright? Which is splitting the columns lah. So go to transform. Look for the split column button. What are we splitting? I think there's a space, no, after the cost center code. Right? Yeah, there is a space, right? So we are going to use either a space or tab. It looks like a space or tab lah, for the matter. Alright, but you have to be very careful. You're going to run down and see. Like example here, HR and IT, right? He also got a space now. We don't want to split this in the middle. So okay, be very careful. So here it goes. Split column by delimiter. Click. Okay. Let's select what we want to do. Let's test it out by space lah. Most of the time it's space. If it's not space, it's tab lah. So select space, please. And this one, not each occurrence or delimiter, no. It's the leftmost. Remember, HR has a space, right? IT has a space right in between. We don't want to split that. Leftmost. Under here, nothing to do. So click OK. Okay, so it's done already. Okay, so far. Alright. We are going to send this later. Later we're going to send this to the Power Pivot, and from the Power Pivot we're going to produce an OLAP pivot table back into Excel. Alright, but before we do that, there's some more things to do. Right now, do you see all these columns starting in the year one? All these transactional items, all this. The next thing to do is to put all this, flatten all this in one single column. Why? Because they work better when they in one single column when you're dealing with pivot tables, so that you can drag and drop that column, having all the values, all these values, right, into anywhere you want, and you're just picking one column. Right now, so many columns is a no-go actually. Alright, so don't worry so much about steps. They are contained already in the text files that I put in just now. I showed you, right? Alright, so right now we are talking about onwards, starting from this column all the way to the end. Okay, so what we want to do right now is like this now. We like to actually unpivot all this. Unpivot is okay. Now I'll talk about pivoting, right? Pivoting is about changing rows to columns. Unpivoting is the other way lah, changing columns to rows lah. Okay. This context is the same as the context that we have in the word pivot table. So right now, unpivoting means we are changing columns to rows. What columns? This lah. We want to flatten into one single row down. Okay. Okay. We are supposed to select so many columns, but there's a shorter way. I would like you right now just to select the columns you don't want to unpivot. Hang on, let me do it again. Don't touch all this stuff, so I'm going to do it again. Make sure there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 selected. The rest, starting from 20 to 4, make sure don't select now. Check. Okay. The button is just right here actually. Under transform. Click on the small tiny arrow. Make sure you select unpivot other columns. So everything is flattened all the way down. Alright. Change this header to period. ABC, no good. All these are supposed to be dates. Click on the ABC, change to date. You need this to be correct because you want to summarize things in pivot table later. This has to be correct. ABC 1, 2, 3, no good. Change to decimal number. Okay, you don't want alphanumeric items inside. Alright, quick glance, guys. Changes here very important. The rest all here okay lah, no need to change anything. Alright, so the changes are not reflected yet, no, in the Power Pivot. What you want to do is effect those changes under here. Go to home right now. Close and load, close and load. Okay, done already. I have 2,855 rows. I'm going over to Power Pivot. Okay. Power Pivot also reflects the same number of rows. At this moment, I will press Ctrl S from here. Alright, so we are rolling everything up at one single go using Power Query and Power Pivot. In the future, right, if there are updates to anything here, right, you can just put in a fresh file inside here. Make sure there are no structural changes. Column names, they have to be the same, and Power Query will be able to pick up from here with the refresh button. Alright. Alright, so now it's pivot table time. From here, select pivot table, new worksheet, existing worksheet. This worksheet is blank. I'm going to be very standardized. I'm going to go to row 15 because everything starts from row 15 in all the templates, and then click OK. Click OK, and pivot table 2 is here. Just now 1 was the earlier one. Alright, and of course Ctrl S again. Okay, now it's time to drag and drop stuff lah. Okay, I want to keep to the template that we had in the rest now. This kind of templates, so I'm just going to open one. What do I have open, by the way? I'm going to use my file number 3 lah. Okay, see our first column having quotes, second column is the name, and then here is blank. Starting point for the year for 2024 is here. So I just want to keep this because I'm pulling out things. I'm trying to be very standardized. Okay, so coming back here, source name can you pull down? So this should be the cost center things, right? Okay, and this is the description. Okay, this design is not very good. I want you to go to design and change your pivot table layout to tabular form, so you can see things properly. Okay, value, drag and drop. Now we want this value to spread across like this now. So can you take this, drag and drop into columns? You get a date hierarchy by design. So this design starts in Excel 2016. Date hierarchy is automatically created when, right? The hierarchy is right here lah, starting from here. Now I don't need quarter. I'm going to take and remove quarter. I don't need this. I'm just leaving year and month, and I'm going to press and click on this plus sign to pop out Jan to December for 2026. So as you can actually see, we are quite near to what we want to do lah. Although not finished, quite near. Alright, see all this layout thing, right? Almost there already. Okay, this one is empty lah. For that particular thing, now I actually click on budget, head count, payroll lah. Just now it's actually the cost of sales lah. Alright, okay, and I'm gonna save as I go along. Alright. Alright, so how is this going to be rolled up? Like this. I'm pulling out my file number 1, going to the P&L. If you go to the P&L right now, you see these two things not ready yet. Right? You have operation costs and you have administrative expenses. So this part over here will contain all these things now. Okay. Operation cost is on its own one. Okay, so that alright. Okay, now it's time to remove the structure of the pivot table. Firstly, I like to remove the grand totals because we're going to put in normal Excel formulas. So under pivot table, under design, subtotals, just take it off. Right, and then go to pivot table, analyze, come to here, remove the structure. Temporary, I'm going to close all this stuff because too many things open. Alright. Okay, I'm going to actually change everything to common style, easier to see. Right. And of course, put in your own totals. Hang on a second, I just want to total all the admin expenses first. So tell what, let's leave a row, empty row for our admin line total. Okay, selecting this row, pressing Ctrl plus shortcut key for increasing a row. Put in the totals for administrative expenses. I'm going to bold this up and I'm going to just copy across by dragging. Under here, totals for everybody for 2026. Alternate equal sign again. Rearranging this from January onwards to December. Enter. Bold this up. Double click down. Alright. And of course, rename this. What shall we call it? Total administrative expenses. This one on its own lah. So you take this, right? This plus this. This one will be called total overheads lah. Okay, and copy across. Alright. And of course save lah. Okay, this is kind of there already, but still not finalized lah. I want to take into account other statements here. Okay, so this one, when we link up properly, we are going to get a number. But firstly, we're going to put the cell address here lah. Okay, that's one. So I want to flip through things like here, you know. You see over here, right? We need to incorporate salaries and other expenses, assuming there's no delay in salaries and things like that. Also assuming our admin expenses and other expenses from the cost centers are on a cash basis lah. Alright. Okay, so it's going to be tied into here. Okay. Alright, and also these categories here, these two belonging to this here. Alright, now nothing yet. We're going to put in the cell addresses later, so this would actually be populated. Okay, alright, now let's get back to our main folder, main budget template folder. What are we going to do right now? How are we going to call up those line items? There's actually quite a number now. Payment, salaries and things like that, right? From all this now. So one technique is like this. You can actually make use of your chart accounts. We have a chart of accounts over here. Let's go and see what's going on. So chart of accounts, right, is something not done manually. It's normally downloaded from your ERP systems. The items displayed in your chart accounts depends on what parameters you use lah. Okay, to run your report. So over here we have like all the balance sheet codes, first worksheet, all the P&L roll-up codes, These are just containers for more to contain. This actually rolls up from the individual line items. Alright, GL codes. Next, revenue center. Next, cost center. Cost of sales. All the GL codes. Next. Oh yeah, it's very interesting. This is a cash flow statement mapping. So P&L also has its own mapping one actually, right here. Alright. But we will just want to focus on this lah. Alright. This mapping is such that it maps the GL codes, right, to a particular segment of the direct method cash flow statement. Alright. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? We want to do this now. See this bunch of guys over here, right? We want to plug out salaries. We want to plug out the components relating to our cash flow statement. Right? We are going to look up this bunch of things, GL code wise, to here and plug out this stuff over here. Okay, so they pull in what? These two lah. Okay. Alright. Okay, so now the thing is like this. We won't be using VLOOKUP because administratively, right, it's going to take up a toll on our computer resource. Administrative is so too much work. Okay, so we are going back to this. We are going to Power Pivot right now. And do what, right? We're going to extract that cash flow mapping file into here. And we're going to link up visually. That means, can you come here right now? Right now we only have one table. Later on we're going to have two tables. Later on we're going to have more tables lah. We're going to make use of that particular mapping only lah. Alright. So can you actually click on your diagram view? You'll probably see only one item over here. Okay. This is the consolidated view of all our cost centers from the folder lah currently. Later we're going to have a few more things from the what you call that? The GL, the mapping, alright? Okay, now where is it? The chart of accounts lah. Alright, so you can close it already lah. Right. Okay, extracting is the normal way of doing things. We are going to use Power Query lah to extract the chart accounts. Send it to Power Pivot. Same method, no change. Okay, ready? Only one file. The chart of accounts only. Alright, so again, Power Query time. Come to here, get the data from file, Excel workbook. Click and select your chart accounts. There it is, right here. Double click. Alright. Okay. Tell you what, let's only select the, no need to select everything lah. Just now earlier I thought of selecting everything, but we only want this particular thing, right? Might as well select this. But you need other chart accounts tables, right? You can actually do it, but let's stick to this lah. Otherwise it'll be very messy, a lot of things. Alright, so take this right now. This is the one we saw just now. Alright. Alright, same method. Tiny button, load to. Only create connection, add to data model. same from yesterday. Click OK. And you probably see here running already. Okay. So let's take a peek what's in Power Query first before going forward. See anything to edit not? I think it is okay lah, nothing much to, nothing lah, no messiness, nothing. Looks alright. Okay, so nothing. I'm going to close and load to close this, and we're going to Power Query, Power Pivot already. So it's here lah. Okay. Now we're going to link up these two. We're going to draw a line across these two. But firstly, right, we're going to pick up what column from here and what column from here to look up. It's the same concept as we look up. You're going to pick up the correct attribute. Okay, so over here under data view, right, you have one column with quotes. Now picking the column with quotes is the best column to do. If you see all this stuff, right, these are not so robust, not as robust as picking this to be looked up to here. And we can obviously see this GL code, right, and you're looking for GL code as well, which is here. Okay, the only condition you want to avoid, you cannot have a many to many relationship. This is many, repetitive. Here shouldn't be many because it's a listing of our GL codes, so it's a one to many relationship, right? You might be thinking like, hey, how come so many details not in basic things? I'm going to be running a basic class on this in January on the ACC calendar, somewhere I think mid-January or so. So in that class, we talk really about the mechanics of this kind of stuff that are from Power Query onwards, and doing OLAP pivot table, normal pivot tables, the whole works of things. Or in this 2 days training, right, we're just jumping to derive results. Alright. Alright, go to diagram view right now. Use your mouse. Select this. Click. It's kind of like drawing a line across to this GL code. And let go your mouse button. Okay. Okay. So that's it. So once connected, you can actually take stuff from here and take stuff from here and pop in and summarize in a OLAP pivot table. Alright. Okay. Just now we remember we created our first pivot table from here. We can also create a pivot table, OLAP pivot table, from the face of Excel. Let's go over there. Let me click on this button first. Alright. We have let's put our second report here lah. This will be our second pivot table. Okay. Go to insert pivot table, select from data model where my cursor is right now. There's no table and range sitting here. Okay, this is the one actually, because we are calling out numbers from our data model, which is our Power Pivot. So click existing worksheet, yes. Click OK. Next, let's populate something. I am going over here right now, where my cursor is right now, right? Let's see what I get over here. Account name, a lot, right? I don't want so many names lah. Alright. How about this? This is not too bad. This is from a mapping lah. These are actually our cash flow items, PI items and things like that. Alright. Alright. So, alright. How about amounts, right? We're going to get the amounts from here. Value, pop it in. Period, year, month. Okay. For this case, no need GL code lah, because GL code is a lot now. Okay, for now, can you just select this whole thing and just align like that. Make sure the periods are same lah. Okay. No need to have these headers lah. Okay. Let's remove the grand totals. Before removing, just check the format. Put in tabular form first. Now better. Alright. This part here, no need to show the month. Only the year. Alright. For 2026, yes. Okay. Now go to pivot table analyze. Wait, haven't removed the totals, right? Hang on, sorry. Remove the grand totals. Now no more. And then remove the structure of the pivot table. Okay. And of course, put everything in common style. You want to put totals also. And of course, save first. So far we put 2 pivot tables. There's another one now. But firstly, let's make use of these things first. Alright. Tell you what. We are going to leave a space like this now. So you see this format over here, right? Okay, you see the starting point is column D, right? We're going to put the space here. Hang on, I'm going to press Ctrl plus. D is the starting point for the year. After that, before January 2026 starts, there's another total, right, in column F, right? So I'm going to put a Ctrl plus here as well. Okay, so that everything lines up in the same format lah. Because why? Later we're going to copy the cell addresses from one of the columns and pop it and reuse it back. Okay. So far like that first. I'm just going to test check my N column R over here. I'm flipping over here lah to test check whether okay lah. Okay lah, so far the N and the starting cell and the end cell is okay. Alright. Okay, I'm going to put this away. What are we going to do? I'm going to flip over to the file number 1 right now. Alright. This part over here. Nothing here, right? Okay. I'm going to close my power pivot for a moment. So now I'm looking through now. See this part over here? I'm going to have to pull starting from row 33. okay, for selling admin. So come over here right now, make sure no change to this. This is file number 6. This one here, whoa. So it's very simple, guys. Can you go back to your file number 6? Very easy. Either you change this to worksheet sheet 1 to reflect this, or you change this to this name. Very simple. So this name is not so nice. I'm going to take this name lah. Just copy this, Control C, okay, and come to your file number 6. Just copy over, paste over, and enter, and Control S. Okay, you don't change, it doesn't work, because this directly follows your workbook and worksheet name. Okay, we're going to pull out from row 33. Can you make use of this? Just pinjam only. Take this, because everything is aligned accordingly. Okay, copy, paste it over here, change the 26 to 33 please. Control F, row 26 gets changed to 33, right? Replace all, click OK, OK, and we see this populated already. Okay, because over here indirect function is actually built to grab from here, here, and respectively. Now Control S please. Now let's handle this one, this part over here. So this part is actually salaries and stuff lah, alright, which is row 32. Alright, so take this, already done that, the whole thing, copy, and put it up here, and change the 33 to 32. Control F, replacing 33 to 32. Okay, so now it's done already. And of course, right, you may want to build further checks just to make sure the formula is correct from the source file, right? Okay, those checks can be built very easily by plus minus cells just plus something minus something, and you probably will have to spot a 0 there to reflect everything is the same. Okay, and moving down, let's go and validate whether there's other operating expenses in it. This is from the budget cost of sales file, row 26. Is actually other production expenses. Okay, I am going to actually leave it for now. For a moment, alright, because I like to settle the P&L first. Right here, over here, right, these two line items have to be grabbing the cells from here, cell addresses. So currently nothing yet now. Going back to file number 6, we are actually talking about this for admin expenses, row 23, and then row 24 for operations. Okay, so row 23 first, copy this as well, paste it over to here. Okay, we're going to replace the 31 with 23, right? 23, right? Control F. 31 replace with 23. Okay, done. Next one. Alright, this will be 24. If I remember correctly, I'm going to check back. 24, row 24. So I'm going to change this operation cost line from 60, right, to 24. Control F again. 60 to 24. So once you set up all these things, right, mostly it's untouched one. All these cell addresses, it's a one-time setup. So it's not a repetitive one, because you don't always change your work files with your rows. Alright? So if you take a little bit of time, not to worry, it's not repetitive task. And Control S to save. So far, we have populated a few other things like our P&L already. We are still to actually settle a few things under here. Alright, especially this one, and also there are line items on as well. Alright, so let's take a break first. We come back, 15-minute break, then we come back at 3:40.